through like on YouTube. So
Fair enough.
It'll be live in like a couple seconds. Look at the blue bar. We're back.
We are back. I hope nobody
All right, yeah, we're
worried or
coming through.
fretted in the
Nice.
meantime.
We are indeed back.
Well, it looks like we were live before the progress bar said we were, so that's interesting. Oh, well, you guys got to hear a little behind the curtain backstage banter. It's always fun. Oh, I didn't have a chance to look at the itinerary. Darnell, what's on tap for today?
All right. Well, tonight, just to recap, last night you picked up the Blue Whale, which is the spaceship that lets you get to the moon, and you've completed the Fabul side quest, returning Mrs. Yang's frying pan and getting the deadliest throwing implement in the game, which is a spoon. You also were tested by the King of Baron, who was the monster Odin, and you struck him with lightning 2 times in a row, and he fell before you. So now Rydia can summon a god. That's pretty good. That means that with everything wrapped up here on Earth, it's time to climb into the big whale and head to the moon. There's 2 main places to go on the moon. 3, because I know you can't resist shopping. You might stop by the Hummingways.
Oh, I'm definitely going there.
Stop number 1. Definitely going there. Our 2 options are Cave Bahamut and the Lunar Underground to go get your final party member. Now, the order you do that is up to you, but I will remind you and anybody else who played this before, once you pick up that 5th party member, you can't go back to the Earth freely. If you go back to the Earth, you trigger the next part of the story.
Thank you.
I think you've got the stuff to take on Cave Bahamut with a 4-man team, but picking up your 5th party member is insurance if you want to commit to that.
Well, let's live dangerously and let's get the next summon next.
Yes. Next summon, you meant to say best summon?
Ooh, can it compete with Free Sylph?
Oh, absolutely, although I probably wouldn't wait for it to finish casting against little trash mobs.
Okay. Fair enough. Alright, chat, we're activating the Crystal of
Talk
Flight.
to the crystal.
Golbez missed that one. Lucky us. Well, then that kind of gives a hint about the other crystal's purpose. So here we are. We're on the red moon.
Whoa.
Oh.
That is a barren surface.
Except for this cool looking Crystal
Oh,
Palace.
Crystal Palace.
Although there's some other fun stuff around here. See if we can locate it. There are a couple little Easter eggs. Don't want to go too fast or we might miss him.
You need a reminder where it is?
I'm going to try to find it on my own first.
Yeah, keep hunting for it. You'll see it.
There's one. The lower left of the screen there.
Look at that face.
Only Mother could love it.
I never knew that was there.
You didn't know the face on Mars was here?
No.
Yeah, there he
great.
is. Yeah. And there's one more. Oh, nice chat. Yeah, I actually played Zero Wing last Friday for the first time. And besides meme fodder, it's a great game.
It's just a space shooter, right?
Yeah, it's got some pretty cool mechanics, like your Zig, your ship, has a tractor beam, and you can rope in certain enemy craft and use them as shields or even shoot them back at other enemies.
Oh, that's cool. Cool.
Also, one thing I didn't know
Speaking
is...
of chat, hey.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to welcome chat. Why don't you finish that thought?
No, welcome chat first. That's way more important.
It's great to see everybody here tonight. How's everybody going? Rawls here, Matthew Martin's here, Bradford Walker, how's it going? TJ Marquis, I haven't seen your name before. Welcome to the stream. Christopher Cordum began the Zeroing greeting. Patrick Daly, what's up? And Fred Richards is here. Hey, hello to everybody. I'm wondering if there's going to be any Superman here at this Crystal Palace. Myself.
By the way, TJ Marquis is a new subscriber to the channel, so welcome. Thank you. Okay, I need to look this one up. Because there's one more lunar feature.
I didn't even know. I can't help you here.
Yeah! Apparently you've been ignoring your lunar topography. Oh, DuckDuckGo doesn't know about it.
I just get
Wow.
I get so excited when I fly to the moon that I just go right into the cave and start smashing monsters, saying, "Give me that dragon."
Fools rush in. Now that you're a fool. It's a saying.
Yeah, nice recovery.
We're not Russian either.
Wow.
Don't call me Shirley.
Wow.
The one thing that makes this a bit laborious is the extra animations required to take off in the big whale.
So you've got a cave down there. Are you looking for another feature?
Yeah, I'm looking
On
for
the
a
surface?
particular crater. A very special crater.
Okay.
Yeah. And the internet doesn't know where it is, which is interesting, but I remember playing this as a kid. I found it like... Because I was looking for the face on Mars after a certain playthrough, and I found this instead. Like, oh, that's cute. Just bear with me, chat. I'll try to land in a centrally located place so we can zoom in. Yeah, nothing there. Well, I don't know. This could be some weird Mandela effect thing. I might have been in the Berenstain universe when I saw this, and it's not in this timeline's version of the game. Anything could happen.
On the edge of my seat.
And if I were a publisher of games, it would be tempting to stealthily release several slightly different versions of the game just to spark some good urban legends.
Oh,
What a great idea.
I'm pretty sure stuff like that has actually happened, although I don't think by design. We got a lot of samey craters. I'm gonna have to abandon the hunt in a moment here, so we can actually get to some playing.
Band of the the hunt. Oh, my goodness. I heard something else. Richard says it's up north. Not
Okay.
sure what it is.
All right, yeah. Well, this is about as far north as you can
Yeah,
go.
that's the northmost. Yeah.
When he's talking about the face, yeah, there's the Martian face.
Cool.
There's another one. All right, I'm gonna try one more search. Gonna try one more web search, and if that doesn't work, we'll just go actually play the game. Okay.
Yeah, Clue, the movie, that reminds me of Clue. I was thinking the same thing. Different endings in different theaters. Fred says the other upper right. The other upper
Okay.
right.
Yeah. Yeah, I see where it is now. There it is. We were right over it. And there it is.
Take a look.
Right here. See it?
I never would have noticed that. That's cute.
Yeah. Seen that chat? That, like, snowman smiley face?
Wacky monsters. Oh, look, it's more slimes. Hey, we haven't seen those floating cells since the beginning of the game. Just outside of Kaipo.
Good memory.
Alright, so you and one other person knew where it was.
Yeah. My hat's off to whoever that was. That's epic.
Fred Richards in chat. Thanks, man.
No, I believe, because of the thin atmosphere, if we stay outside the ship too long, we start losing HP.
Is that so?
Yeah,
Never spent much time outside the ship.
yeah, you generally don't want to, and I don't know how long it takes. I'm not going to worry about finding out. But there's some versions of the game where that does happen. So anyway, let me use that nap time to close this window I don't need over here. Check chat. Okay, I think I'm all caught up. Very good. Okay. And then I definitely want to stop here because this is the one place in the game where you can just buy all the ethers. This is just your one-stop ether shop. Andres Thompson would love this place. Ooh,
It's also
second
an
try.
amusing place.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, the shop, when you first zone in, the shop is always the humming way on the just to your right, second one up. You can always see him where he is.
Cool.
Because he spawns in the same place every time.
Alrighty.
Good choice on keeping the mute dagger. It's not a great throwing weapon, but you're going to be fighting monsters weak to that attack.
Yeah, that's what I figured. See, I think I have another bow I don't need. That might be with the fat chocobo. Okay, let's see what we can buy. So we have 252,000. And ooh, Ether 2s are 50 grand a pop. How many Ether 1s do we have?
More than you'll use for the rest of the game.
Really?
Sorry, I've never seen you play before. I'm just making stuff up.
Okay. Just making sure. Let's keep that handy. And I do want Cecil's like main equipment here just in case. And of course, 11 Excaliburs. Can't go wrong with that. I have a feeling those are going to multiply.
Just struck me now that when they needed an item to replenish power points of Pokemon, they just straight up took Ether and even changed the name.
Ha!
Which
That's
was
a cool
totally lost on me as a kid, not having played Final Fantasy first, but in hindsight, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, look at that. Didn't combine them for me. Okay. Whoops. Missed one. Leaving that open for, well, you know why. Okay. Oh yeah, I suppose I should talk to these guys for folks in chat who don't know what their deal is.
Also, you get to hear the humming.
Yeah, what's on? Whoa! Man, I'm just batting 1,000 today. Because there's only one actual naming way in here. So, we now learn the origin of naming way. He came from the moon. Now, you can't see it here because his character portrait doesn't come up. But, these guys have bunny ears. So, this is a callback to the Japanese folktale of rabbits on the moon who make rice cakes.
Really?
Oh, piercing. Let's see.
Yep, the rabbit escapes from the enemies and is taken up into the moon.
Huh.
Yeah.
You'll see a lot of rabbit and moon-related stuff in Japanese media. That's why Sailor Moon's name is Usagi. They literally just named her Rabbit.
Yeah, it's Kino Usagi, which means rabbit of the moon. Good call.
They were being really subtle there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew she was named Rabbit. I just didn't know why. Shoot, I just admitted on air that I know something about Sailor Moon.
Weeb. Just checking something here.
Oh, look at these bizarre monsters.
Okay. These, yeah. The yotes, as I call them. I remember playing this game and then, like, the next year in school, having, like, a microbiology lesson or something, learning about prokaryotes and eukaryotes. And it clicked. Like, oh,
Yep.
this is the Final Fantasy IV things. Okay. I guess I don't need to do that. Yeah, they hit pretty hard.
They're beefy. They don't drop anything interesting. They poison your ass. I
Yeah.
actually don't like fighting these things at all.
Yeah. There are a lot of them. It's okay. Sylph's got them.
So much sustain. You can just keep casting Sylph and you keep healing. It's not a lot of damage, but it just keeps you going.
Oh, hey, JD. Good to see you in chat. Glad you could make it. Mega Buster Shepherd. Glad to see all of you guys. It's a party. Ah. That's why I put it there. Every day my collection grows. Okay, yeah. After the pounding Edge took from those yotes, definitely need a nap. Okay. Talk amongst yourselves.
Does he mean us? I think he means us.
Anybody? I don't know.
Streaming failed me this weekend.
What happened?
There's one place you can find the director's cut of Legend available for stream.
Ooh.
Only if you happen to be subscribed to a certain internet provider. No other place, like not Amazon, not any other place where you can stream movies online, has the director's cut of Legend. And I was trying to show my buddy the director's cut because it's the best version of the movie. And I didn't have access to my DVDs and could not find it anywhere.
Ah. Yeah,
What's
there.
significant about the director's cut of Legend?
The director's cut restores the original score that the American executives had replaced with a synthy track by Tangerine Dream, which I know has its fans, but I don't think it compares to the original score that was designed to score a fantasy movie. And then it restores about 15 minutes of cut footage.
Okay.
So fairly significant changes. There's also the European theatrical release, which kept the original soundtrack and just trimmed certain scenes. But from everything I've read, the director's cut is the best version. It's also the only version I've seen.
So, fun fact about Legend. It's Zelda.
It is indeed. It is completely. It predates the game as well.
Is it?
So you've
The only
got,
thing I really remember is Tom Cruise in armor and Tim Curry in the most amazing makeup and costume ever.
It's really impressive, all of the makeup and effects work they did. But consider the plot. You've got a young forest-dwelling lad who sets off to rescue a princess after the land is covered in darkness and winter, with the assistance of a fairy who at one point literally turns into a little glowing dot of light that says, "Hey, listen."
Well, and it's deliberate.
Must.
Sorry, go ahead. Continue.
And then must infiltrate the evil overlord's palace, figure out a clever way to defeat him and rescue the princess. And this all came out 1 year before Zelda Densetsu came out.
Well, I know that
was in 1985.
Yeah, well,
And the
the
first
original
Legend
Legend.
of Zelda was
So I will.
1986.
I'm pretty sure that Zelda was
Sounds like
released
there's a
for
lot
the
of breaking up on my
Famicom.
end.
Am I coming through?
Yep.
Okay. Now I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that the original Legend of Zelda was released for the Famicom Disk System in 1984, because Legend actually was intentionally based on Zelda.
All right, here. I want to talk about the game real quick. We've got. We are in. For those of you who missed the header, this is Cave Bahamut, and the carries, Brian. Just in case you're curious, they have a pile of hit points and they basically have no weaknesses. So you just beat them down.
Okay, thank you.
Normally, I'd recommend going Avengers Sword, but you're busy making toys for Edge, so.
Yeah, oh, I must have done it backwards this time.
Zelda started development in 1984 and was intended to launch on Famicom Disk System, but it was not released until 1986.
Okay. But either way, the story I'd heard was that Ridley Scott had, like even before the game released, Nintendo was floating script ideas for a Legend of Zelda movie around, and that's originally what Legend was going to be, but then Ridley Scott decided to depart and do his own thing, and he hired the author who wrote Angel Heart. If you've ever seen that, stunning Robert De Niro and Mickey Rourke movie, but he hired the Angel Heart dude to write rewrite the script, and that became Legend.
Holy cow.
20 is certainly high enough that I could believe that.
I mean, I think the game's delayed.
The brief.
I think the game's delayed release had something to do with that too. Because yeah, it was supposed to be out like in time for movie, and then Nintendo was like, no, it's not going to be. So Scott changed it from a tie-in to an original movie. But again,
What you're
could
saying
be,
is
Wager is better for it.
could have been the Mandela
could have
effect.
broken the video game movie curse, but on the flip side, though, because of the fact that it was not a tie-in film, they're actually allowed to reference God and Christianity. So overall, I'll call it a win.
Good point. No, it's too bad you couldn't find it. Like, more and more things are just... Like, you guys notice that the internet is just not working more and more? Like the way it used to?
Oh, Brian, this is where you want to use the mute dagger. If you want to swap your full moon out on Edge's left hand, you can
Okay.
do a lot more damage to the warlocks.
Good point. Hey, sorry, my attention was a little divided again, trying to think of movie trivia.
Well, to answer your question, 1985 was the UK release, and I think the director's cut is the best version.
I'm gonna second that, by the way. Yeah, get the director's cut if you can.
Which apparently you can only get in physical format right now, unless you are an Xfinity customer.
Ugh.
Even the Sailors of the High Sea failed me. Like, there's just no director's cut online.
Did you like that?
I loved it. Oh yeah.
I think it'd be accurate to say that the movie it's a fairy tale movie, but it has kind of a sword and sorcery sensibility to it.
Oh, no doubt.
Sure.
Like it manages to balance the dark and the light elements really well. I think
Yeah.
it also proves you really don't need much backstory to get a good plot going with characters that you care about. Like, if you tried, if a lesser director tried to make that movie nowadays, like, we'd waste so much time at the beginning establishing the history of the kingdom that Lily's from, and
Yeah,
why
sadly,
Star-Lord hates it and all of that.
yeah, sadly, a lesser contemporary director like Ridley Scott is now. Unfortunately.
So harsh, but true.
I call him like I
Fair.
see him.
Yeah. Although, while we're speaking of Ridley Scott, let's see, Blade Runner 2049 was watchable, completely unnecessary but watchable, and what was the other one that I thought was okay? Alien
What?
Covenant was okay.
Ridley
Of course,
Scott did not
they're both
direct Blade Runner
unnecessary
2049, though.
Oh, he didn't? I thought he did that one.
No.
That was Dennis Villeneuve.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking of the Alien movie. Yeah, Ridley Scott's just a self-parody now. You've got a dead paladin. What's going on? Someone wake Cecil up.
Yeah, ready to nudge him. I need more Excaliburs.
It's all he is to you, isn't he?
Yeah. It's a vending machine.
Unlimited Blade Works.
Shameful.
Very
Shame for
disrespectful.
display.
One thing I think Legend did better than Crawl for another fantasy film from around the same time is I think it gave the princess a much more interesting character arc to go through than Crawl did.
I wasn't a
Nice.
big fan of Kroll, but there's something I liked a lot about it, which was it didn't shy away from that sort of, brutal, nasty, horrible death that might befall someone undertaking such a dangerous quest.
Yeah, there's a respectable body count in Crawl, and I love the design of the fantasy stormtroopers.
Mm.
And their laser javelins. I think there's a really good movie hiding in Crawl. Like what got made was decent and I like it, but I think you could do something really good with the premise and the designs.
Holy cow. Hey, Brian, if Cecil's only copying Excalibur's, maybe he should get some big armor on.
Yeah.
The D-bones are weak to fire, but not holy, just in case you're curious.
Not holy or not cure. Or life, rather.
I've never tried life on him.
Well, what about
It's worth a
cure?
potion, right?
Yeah.
My goodness. Well, you just did cure, so it worked.
Life does not work. Important safety tip.
All right. Oh, chat's in on movies. Crusader Saracen, watchable but way too damn long. Yeah, Blade Runner 2049 was about 2 acts too long.
My buddy, who never falls asleep in movies, fell asleep while trying to watch that.
Yeah, if it weren't for the massive soundtrack that's just booming in my ears, I would have fallen asleep. Covenant suffered from 2-movie syndrome, and again was entirely unnecessary. Yeah, I think there's a good movie in there, and that movie has nothing to do with the xenomorphs.
I'll say that I was not a fan of Covenant at all, but the one scene that really stuck out to me, okay, this is what sci-fi cinema is for, is when the bad guy virus bombs the planet. Like that scene, that was like Ridley Scott doing good Ridley Scott things. Like you felt that kind of mythic import in that moment.
But yeah.
Okay, there we go.
That was a fun scene.
Cecil's
Movies
got his
nowadays
iPads
are
on.
too damn long. Fanboys need to stop encouraging Zack Snyder, for God's sake. Hey, I've got good news for you guys. we're going to be back on Saturday. We're going to talk about Zack Snyder's latest waste of celluloid, Army of the Dead. So I'll see you guys in the chat on Saturday. Me and Daddy Warpig are going to talk about it. Spoilers for anybody who knows me. As we previously established, I don't like zombie movies, and I also hate everything. So am I going to give this a thumbs up or a thumbs down? I don't know. You wait and see.
Well, I tried watching the Snyder Cut. I never saw the original Justice League, so I can't compare, but I gave up like 45 minutes into it. There was like things on screen, but nothing actually happening that I cared about.
Oh, Justice League was a dreadful movie.
It was also super duper Themyscira heavy in the beginning, and apart from Gal Gadot, I don't find any of the casting for the Amazons convincing at all. It just feels like watching angry cosplayers doing things.
Of course it is. It's made by people who hate you in order to insult you. Oh yeah, this guy.
Don't forget the fact that the other. So the Behemoth. Let's talk about this guy. This is one of the nastiest fights in the game. Behemoth pretty much only counterattacks.
Mm-hmm.
So you determine how much damage you take in this fight. If you've got the healing for it, just have Cecil and Edge wail away at him. Or if you don't want to take any damage at all, bounce Virus off of Cecil. I love how Virus is killing everything in this game.
Oh, except for that. But
Nice try.
that should poison.
Behemoths have basically the highest magic resistance in the game. Probably better off just pounding him with one guy and healing.
Oh, the wall only lasted for one turn.
Oh no! Oh no!
That was odd.
I'm laughing inside, but I'm also laughing outside. That was freaking funny.
No, it was. Like, see, this is why I didn't understand. Like, a few streams ago when he said, yeah, like, Cecil's whole job is to never die. I'm like, what are you talking about? Because this is normal for me.
Wow, I've never seen him eat so much dirt before.
Because I don't
Yeah,
really care whether he does or not.
You have to lean in with physical attacks, but if you just spam fight with everybody, the incoming damage is too high. So, just beat his ass.
First, I'm going to set up. Use one of these fancy Ether 2s I just got.
Oh, yes, a blinking edge is a very good idea. See, I see where you're going with this. I can look into the future. Also, last time I was in the cave Bahamut, I did the exact same thing.
Nice. There it is.
Oh. Yeah, he can only cast it on himself, so.
Oh, I thought it was group one. Whoa, the Behemoth got tired of waiting. You have to wait your turn, buddy.
It happens.
You have to wait your turn. Yeah.
Alright, this fight's gonna take a minute. I'll be right back.
Okay. Now, what I would say, considering the recent topics of discussion, and also the furor that's risen over Lord of the Rings, which I called years ago, yeah, time to get all your stuff in physical media. Like, time to get your books, get your hard copies, get your Blu-rays and DVDs and VHS, because they're just going to memory hole everything. They're knocking down the monuments of Christendom, and They're going to replace them with statues to Moloch. Figuratively and probably literally. So if there are any franchises that you love, get hard copies of them now. Because, I mean, Amazon has the Lord of the Rings series coming out. Like, do you really think they're going to allow the originals to compete with them, either in print or in film? Yeah, they're not going to do that.
And to have people reading Tolkien's letters, finding out who he actually was.
Yeah, I'd get copies of those now too, because I mean they'll memory hole those.
Especially now that Christopher Tolkien's passed away.
Oh yeah. I mean, the OneRing.net's Twitter account was online, like excoriating people. Yeah. For not having woke opinions. Like, okay.
Maybe. I mean, I agree, but I think there's a possibility that the Lord of the Rings films get a couple of extra decades, like Gone with the Wind did.
I think you're being
still remembered as. Things are moving faster these days. You know, maybe you're right.
Yeah. Not only are we accelerating toward the cliff, the rate of acceleration is increasing. Okay. Yeah, we came out of that all right.
I want to say the films were a mistake, but they definitely pushed it into the pop culture sphere, which I think was a bad thing.
I mean, it was
In Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
yeah, Tom Shippey, like the leading Tolkien expert in the world, like was totally against the Jackson films even.
They have their moments, but honestly, I think there's a lot better stuff in the Rankin and Bass stuff, and even some of Bakshi's stuff.
Yeah.
Rankin and Bass definitely handled Frodo and Sam's journey through Mordor better. Rankin and Bass Frodo is much more of a stoic figure.
Yeah. I've got a buddy
Like
who's I mean, he's our guy to know in no sense of the word. Like he was actually a card-carrying communist last I'd heard. But even he was annoyed by a lot of stuff in the Jackson movies. And like he blamed it all on Fred Walsh and Philippa Boyens. Like we were watching a making of thing. He's like, right, all the faults in Fellowship of the Ring are the fault of these two. Like Jackson clearly wanted to adapt the material as faithfully as possible, but these two are like, oh no, let's turn Arwen into a proto-feminist, and let's include some just some lines that don't land, like let's go hunt some orc. There's some record scratches in there.
some of the casting decisions too. Like I just can't see Elijah Wood's Frodo drawing his sword and facing the ring wraiths on the Brunnen, which is of course why they didn't put that scene in the movie. But
well, how about Hugo Weaving?
That was a weird casting for. He's a good actor, but that was a weird casting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to I don't insult the guy, but Elrond is described as like one of the fairest beings in Middle Earth. And instead we get Agent Smith, we get Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. Odd to say the least. Just throwing that out there. But no, Jackson.
A lot of the elf casting was interesting.
Yeah, I mean, Jackson has his company of stock characters, right? He's got his Lucky Rabbit's Foot cast. I get that. And I do get that a lot of people like those movies. I like them, except for Two Towers. I've never liked Two Towers, full disclosure. I think they just completely screwed that one up. But even Fellowship of the Ring and Return of the King are by no means perfect.
Whenever I rewatch Two Towers, I basically just fast forward through everything that's not the Battle of Helm's Deep once Faramir shows up.
Yeah, good call. Because they just the
extended edition tries to salvage it a little, but it's still a complete betrayal of the character.
Yeah, especially Aragorn, because they do the Hollywood thing, and again, I'm attributing this to Philip Avoynes and Fran Walsh. They throw in a gratuitous refusal of the call for no reason, because they just don't understand hero characters.
That is one of my least favorite tropes of all time.
Yeah, and it's not supposed to be a trope.
It's like, I don't want to watch the story of the guy that refuses to call and gets tucked into something. I want to watch the story of the guy that jumps in feet first.
Yeah, well, I think it's more that millennial mirror syndrome. Like, if you guys have been reading my blog recently, one thing I've noticed is that millennials especially just can't interact with fiction in any way that's not a self-insert. Like, even conservative millennials, even younger conservatives, like, the way they talk about Star Wars, for example, or even Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter, the Marvel movies, they always turn it into a self-insert LARP. It's like they don't know how to react to an aspirational character who, like, already has things figured out and has strong objective virtue. It's weird. But yeah, I'd stock up on whatever you really go for it.
So by and large, like, most of the cast in Lord of the Rings is supposed to be aspirational. Like, they've all got things largely figured out.
Crusader Saracen asks, speaking of Tolkien, what do you think of the pop cultist Bugman fascination, veneration of world building that's come up as of late? I have my own thoughts on that. I'll let CL, what's your take on it?
As far as world building is concerned, I think it's overrated. I think Tolkien had a point with what he was doing, which he makes explicit in his letters. Like, he's trying to create a culture and a history to go with this language he invented, while also trying to create a mythology for England. So if your goals are that high and lofty, and you also happen to be as talented as Tolkien is, then I think trying to create that level of verisimilitude is a noble thing, and it's a towering achievement for Tolkien. I don't think every story needs that.
Well said.
I think Lewis was also right in that you can do a kitchen sink approach and go, I have these in here because it's what I want to do for my story because it's fun. And I think if you get too wrapped up in world building it can be to the detriment of your story. Like, it's like with backstory, like, some stories as stories don't need that much background.
So here we are at the end of the cave, Brian. I don't know if we lost you or not.
Yeah, I was muted for a second. Mainly
Muted
because
for
I
a
wanted to make
second.
sure that you guys got your full say. But I'm going to co-sign what you two said.
I want to talk more, but I realize that we just got to the end of the Bahamut cave, so let's see what's going on in the game.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, yeah. So I'll co-sign what CL and you just said about the world building.
After this Bahamut fight, I want to hear Dornall's take on it.
Yeah, sounds good.
This is an interesting statement from King of Dragons. It could have been done without the power of light, defeating Leviathan. King of us monsters. Okay. You ready for the color commentary, Brian?
I'm just concentrating on kicking his ass.
Kick his ass. Bahamut is a walking bag of hit points. Number at the top, 5. Yes, indeed. That is a countdown. If you haven't defeated him by the time he gets to 0, you might be dead. I think Brian's got something to fight back with, though. Here we go. Use a slow here. Alright. There we go. Love the technique. So Brian's walled up Rosa and done nothing with everybody else. What's his plan? Oh,
A little too late.
a little too late. A lot too late. Boom. Oh, but he took a bunch of damage on himself. That's okay. Had enough mana to bring everybody back.
Yeah, honestly,
He's your
since
best healer at this point.
yeah, because honestly, since all he does is an insta-death effect, I'll save Rosa for casting walls.
Yep.
The one on her is probably run out, 'cause-
I recommend casting Ashura instead of using life potions.
Oh, really? Isn't she kind of
Although
unreliable?
Yep, totally unreliable, but you could either get a full heal or a life on everybody. That's okay. Casting wall is the only thing Rosa needs to be doing. But you survived the first mega nuke, so here you are. There's no reason not to beat up Bahamut now that everybody's seen the mega flare.
Oh, really? He doesn't counter?
Yeah, just kick his ass.
Okay.
No, he doesn't. If you the first time you come here, if you don't think to wall, you're probably gonna lose the whole party and go, what the heck? But it's not as much of a DPS race as it looks like. You can just wall the mega flare. Here it comes. Oh, Rosa ate it.
Yeah, I figured that probably wore off. See if
Actually,
Ashura...
that's optimal.
Nope.
That's okay. You'll kill Bahamut anyway.
Oh, thanks for the vote of confidence.
That's optimal for you since Rydia and Edge are most in need of XP. Oh, when you rezzed Rosa anyway. I'm sorry, the stream got a little choppy on me. I haven't been actually keeping up to date. Edge's job is to do damage. Brian doesn't care. He wants all the XP for all of his guys.
It's better. Oh. Way to go, Edge.
Uh-huh.
Nice. Only on 3 count.
You saving the Excaliburs to throw at something else?
Yeah, I depleted my supply quite a bit. And besides,
I like the call using them on Behemoths.
Yeah, they're best for that.
I think you can shift to virusing Bahamut now if you want.
Yeah, I'd considered it. Or I could if I had anything. Well, I bought those Ether 2s. Because hers is probably worn off.
Yeah, hers is worn off.
Luckily,
Poor
got
Rosa.
it back up.
Done.
And Edge dies after.
And Edge takes that.
Dang it, Edge. Get off the floor. Yeah, Patrick Daly in chat mentions, yeah, spoiler, 2 walls per round. That's what I was talking about at the top of the show. If you go to the other cave, you can get a party member that also can cast wall. But the truth of the matter is that dude does not deserve any of Rydia's XP.
Agreed. Alright, there he is.
You got the king of monsters.
What's interesting is we have room for 1 more. Wonder if someone was cut from the roster or there's something I'm forgetting. Oops. That's right.
Yeah, there are 3 drops. And I don't know if there's an extra one. Maybe there's someone cut.
Because, yeah, it's Imp, Bomb, and then when you get from, like, the witches. Huh, yeah, I don't know. Anyhow. Alright, good, this works in here.
Good show.
Thank you.
Time to take a nap.
I think it is. Ha. Crusader Saracen. I heard Lord of the Rings and thought, you know what this needs? Tax policy. And sex. The world building is incomplete. If I can't imagine sex. Yeah. Talking about GRRM saying that LOTR's world building was incomplete because no Hobbit sex.
Huh.
Clearly, he hasn't read the appendices. Has he seen all those family trees?
Yeah. And that's a good segue back into world building. Yeah, as an editor, I see I get tons of questions about that from aspiring authors who are like, "Oh, hey, can I run my novel idea past you?" And I'm like, "What did it actually save there?" My brain has a problem processing more than one information stream at once. Chat. That's how I roll. Hyper focus. Anyway, and I'll be like, "Okay, send me an email. Give me your pitch." Right? And 9 times out of 10, it's always like, okay, well, imagine a kingdom where, like Gilgamesh, Frederick Barbarossa, Arthur, like are all the same guy who just keeps coming back, and there are still dragons. Oh, and magic works like this. Oh, and the geopolitical situation is like this, and they use ammo for money, and it's just all world building. Like, okay, well, that's not a story pitch. A story pitch is, okay, here's my character. Here's what the character wants. Here's what is in the way of what the character wants. And yeah, I'm not exactly sure where it comes from, but right now, signs are pointing toward writers' workshops, a certain high-profile old pub podcast, and probably old pub authors' blogs as the culprits.
Plus, new style.
Sorry, what? New style what?
New style, for lack of a better word, Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was going to bring up.
Okay, well, your turn then. Although, first, what's on the itinerary now? Should I go back to Earth for a bit?
I think you're done on Earth, unless there's something you wanted to do or explore or something. The next important piece is to check out this Crystal Palace and see if you can find out what's going on the moon.
Okay, I'm going to replenish some of my stuff, but yeah, sounds good. Anyway, please go ahead, Ronald, with your take on...
Yeah, so one of the things that sort of came up in what chat said and what CL said had to do with talking about this being a new thing. And in my experience, at least with my peers in my generation and everything, it's not a new thing. World building is inherently interesting to Gen Yers, to millennials, and even older. That what they really love, this is a fantastic world where great things happen. A lot of it does come from role-playing games, especially in the fantasy space. You really want to, what's interesting about this game or this world? Well, such and such, like you were saying, this is, we use weird money and so on and so forth. I don't think this is new. I think the love of world building is common. I'm not sure if there's a better word for it. It's something that I've noticed and experienced my whole life. It's not all bad, but as Brian said, it's not a story. And what people like, going into gaming specifically, what people like Jeffrey Johnson and Joy of Wargaming are fighting against is the idea that it's also important for a role-playing game or a tabletop game, when the truth is that the game doesn't need that world building. The game comes first, and world building is a fun activity for a creative type or a writer or something like that. But it's resulted in a couple of generations of game masters who think that that's what the game is. Like, here's my world, here's how I'm going to entertain you. When you hear something like that out of a prospective game master, just run. This is not going to be an enjoyable experience. or at least it won't be a game. It'll just be whatever story thing they're trying to do. But yeah, book world building and RPG world building, they've been around forever, my whole lifetime at least. People love that stuff. I believe that we see it a lot more just because of modern culture and modern technology, the way we're all sort of, you can go on the internet and find hundreds of pages of dreck, because anybody can publish anything at any time. Think of the reams of fan fiction that fill up the internet, right? The whole, Twitter's full of aspiring writers who have no idea what writing means except, typing hashtag #writing and sending a picture of their Starbucks coffee or something like that. It's just the idea of being creative. I think I'm rambling now, but I hope you got my point. I think it's been around forever.
Yeah, nothing new under the sun, right?
Yep. It sticks in my craw in gaming in particular because I do love my role-playing games, and I don't like. I always get an uneasy feeling when I'm presented with someone who doesn't realize that it's a game and thinks that it's their personal acting troupe. That doesn't make an interesting game to me.
Yeah, pretty much every time I've been in a group like that, it's ended in tears. And you're right, world builder's disease is not new. I mean, everybody, especially everyone creative, really likes the idea of imagining, what if the world were different? Here's, like, we all build our own fantasy worlds and go live there from time to time, right? What has changed is the gatekeepers and, like, the influencers in the industry aren't, like, helping to shepherd aspiring writers, right, and foster their creativity, right, and tell them how to channel those creative impulses. They're just giving it carte blanche encouragement to run wild and ignore things like character and theme and plot.
Consider the same thing happens in tabletop gaming. There's a million and one podcasts, e-celebrities who will tell you, hey, this is how I do things. These are some cool tools and tips and tricks and everything like that. But a lot of it is I'm a dungeon master and you can too. And nobody actually teaches the nuts and bolts of how to do it and why you do it. A sworn enemy of Bradford Walker, Justin Alexander, is one of the guys that's really good about that. Like, he's got his whole Patreon set up around, here are the things that I've learned that make me a good game master, and I will show you them, right? I don't have enough for that. It's really bad in writing. It's really bad in tabletop RPGs. It's a lot better in board game development. Hey, I'm calling it. Don't forget to Odin these guys so that you can get a guaranteed bomb summons drop.
Way ahead of you.
You're the best. Do it, Odin. Slice them bombs.
Glory to God. See, the live feed is still in Discord, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
it gets a little sketchy at times.
Oh.
So I think sometimes I'm a half a second behind.
Oh, and I wasn't looking at the screen. Did we get the bomb summon?
I don't know. You're playing the game.
I think worms are weak to water, if I remember correctly.
Color coded. They are weak to fire.
Oh.
Just tag him with a fire tube and he's done for.
Alright.
Or fire 3 if you prefer.
Now, I will confess, my entire Twitter account is built around world building with no storytelling.
Yeah, that'd be the Catholic doggo in the room.
Yes.
No bomb, says Chad. I'm glad one of us is actually watching the game. It's not any of the three of us, it's just Chad. Oh, burned a worm. Yeah, they're not subtle at all. Here's a giant red worm. Try fire on it.
Well, if it's red, I think to try
finally.
ice.
A. Shuffington is here. Thank you for being here, A. Shuffington. We can finally start the stream.
And now the party can get started.
Yeah, I'm just being a jerk. It's good to have you here. Better late than never.
I need more Excaliburs. There we go.
No,
Now,
we
I will
have a lot
say
of
CL has
aspiring
a-
writers in chat. Just
Well, CL has an excuse because he's more of a visual artist on that account. Specifically doing concept
absolutely.
art. Yeah, with concept art, world building is fine. Concept art is a key component of world building. Just look at what Ardenon does with all the Exceed mecha, right? So, I don't want anyone to fall into the opposite error and think that I just say, don't worry about world building at all. Just wing it. You'll be fine. No, you need to make sure that the physics and politics and the key conceits of your world hang together and they're internally consistent, but always in service of the story. That's the problem. Always ask yourself, is it fun? Is it fun? That's all.
And is it taking up the reader's time for something that's not that important?
Right.
same thing. Excuse me. Same thing happens in game design. I'm sitting around. Oh, those grenades are gonna get it. Odin denied.
He was busy.
In game design, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what kind of cool thing you want to do. The only really important thing is it fun? I've sat down with aspiring game designers and played prototypes of all sorts of board games, and you can see where they're combining known mechanics together. Like, oh, I get, you want the player to do such and such and blah 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 blah. Okay, but what are you trying to get out of the players? Like, what sort of interesting decisions are you trying to get? And my buddy, who's also playtesting, just comes out and says, hey, when does this get fun? Right to the game designer's face, and it's like, all right, well said. That's all you needed to say.
Oof.
That's a good playtester. You need people like that.
I know I did when you guys were playtesting the Exceed RPG. Coming soon to backers, by the way. Now that I've released CY96 Prelude, I'm going to be concentrating on the RPG Player's Guide. But yeah, these guys would tell me, that wasn't fun. Let's consider changing that. That was a lot of fun. Let's keep that. So I got tons of useful notes from them.
Happy to help.
Thank you.
A lot of people can't take that feedback. So you're a trooper, and I totally recommend everybody in the chat and listening later totally go to Indiegogo and give Brian money to play role-playing games with him because it's fun.
Unfortunately, that option is currently closed, but we'll be getting back in business soon. But you can. What you can do is go to the link in the show notes and buy Ethereal anyway. Go ahead.
What if I hired you as an editor, but just asked you to write me a role-playing game instead?
I have edited role-playing games.
That's a niche I'm not sure I'd want to get into.
Now, what you'd be doing is hiring me as a ghostwriter, which costs way more. So I would say let's talk, but bring your wallet.
Love it.
Like, yeah, I might as well just say it. Yes, I will write your book for you if you give me the notes and outline, but we are going to be talking 5 figures, just so you know. Okay?
Love it.
Because that's what my time is worth now. I proved it on that recent Indiegogo. So, time that I'm writing your stuff is time I'm not writing my stuff. So, you got to pay the pickle man. You got to compensate me. But we can do business if you want that. I'm here to help.
All right, let's do that. I'm cashing in my 401k, and I'm gonna buy myself some Brian Niemeyer authored role-playing games, and you should too. Yeah, chat's talking about Jeff Rowe Johnson now. He's been really good about that OSR. I mean, OSR's been around for a while, so I gather. But he's one of the people that really gets it. You know, he wrote that Appendix N book. Not only not only from the game mechanics point of view, like someone like Justin Alexander is excellent at understanding the game mechanics and the game structures and the art and science of being a dungeon master, and he can tell you, okay, this is why you do this is why you do that. But Jeffro comes at it from the Appendix N, from the cultural standpoint, and sort of he understands probably better than anybody else the historical context in which those games were understood, which gives him a unique perspective, to say the least.
Oh, chat asks...
Or OSR, my bad.
What do Ghost Riders usually cost if they're starting out? 40k a year? Try 40k a book starting out. Seriously. Like, I'm really good friends and business associates with a couple of Ghost Riders right now. One of whom is at the higher end. This guy has made his clients millionaires. A couple of his clients from book sales. So he'd be at the high end.
Wow.
Yeah, and my other buddy who got into ghostwriting through Millionaire Dude went from making like low 5 figures a year and jumped up straight to 6 figures just from that. And he got pretty much the figure you just quoted for his first ghostwriting assignment alone. To give you an idea.
Wow. Everybody's got dollar signs on their eyes now.
Now, what I will point out, though, is that is for non-fiction. That's really where the ghostwriting money is. So, like, for example, you don't really think that, like, Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, or Sarah Palin really wrote their books, do you? No. Their agent signed publishing deals with, like, the designated conservative imprint of Simon & Schuster or whoever, and Simon & Schuster called up one of their ghostwriters that they keep on tap for the assignment.
Got something for you.
And I forgot to copy the Excalibur last time. Oh well. Live and learn.
That's right, poison them right back. Those little shits deserve it.
They do. I really hate them. Frickin' yotes.
The only enemies I hate more in this game are the cave bats. Because of that... the eternal attack animation of their vampire attack. But at least they have a cool idle animation.
Yeah, they're actually animated. I think it might be time to bid farewell to Rose's silver shield and go ahead and give her the bow and arrow. We might be getting close to that.
These fights taking too long for you?
Well, she's I think she's gotten over the hump where she's got pretty good survivability without the shield. And we're going to be needing it for the dragons.
I'd agree. Also, a great excuse to... Now, I'm not suggesting this because that'd be a really bad idea. It'd take way too long. But if you sold all your silver shields, you could get one on Rydia. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, that would be a better idea. And it wouldn't take that long. We'd just go back to Eblan or even the underground. Because, man, I was finding silver shields left and right. I got 2 from one battle once.
Those were good times.
Yeah, so I'm not going to do it right this second. We'll wait until after this next scenario.
Yeah, well, you won't have a choice. Here we are, almost at the Crystal Palace. Now, I'm excited. Another random encounter. And I'm not crazy, am I? Is the encounter rate higher on the moon than the rest of the game?
In certain areas, yeah, it feels like it.
Feels like it. It's probably just my imagination. But...
Luckily, there is Gatorade Original and Frost in here. So we're good.
That's right, as soon as
refreshing.
you enter in a new zone, always go left and right first. Lost CL there. Can you still hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Fantastic. I'm gonna hope chat can.
Well, bye, CL.
Alright, so free healing at the Crystal Palace. What else we got? Some juicy revelations.
I'm going to check. One moment. Just trying to find out what happened. Like, I just got alerted to a text message on my phone, but it's across the room and I cannot reach it. So, whoever it is going to have to wait. We're going to do this. Oh, check out the light show.
Okay.
Yeah, they can hear you. Okay. Santa?
Fusoya. It's not
How do you
even Anglicized, it's just 3 Japanese syllables.
Man, how'd you get that job? Oh, wow, I must have been thinking about this when I wrote my most recent short story. XCSS backers will know the reference as of yesterday. I suppose earlier today.
I have a confession to make, I haven't read it yet.
Have you seen the
Survivor
cover?
the Calamity Escaped by Ships. Yes.
As
What?
they fled.
Red Moon was manufactured?
It's like it's hollow or something. Yeah, so they fled their doomed planet and just found like a bunch of hominin apes on Earth. Like, all right, hit the snooze bar.
Why not?
His thoughts were still awakened.
Oh, Golbez being controlled by the moon. From the
It was
moon.
like it's like
And for
Canterbury or
the moon.
something. Indeed.
He's truly a lunatic.
Yeah. It is no moon, chat. Can't help but notice the member of chat's handle who pointed that out. We're big World of Darkness fans over here.
Amen. Always played the Fianna.
They're fun.
Any excuse to do a bad
Is he
Irish
back?
brogue.
CL, are you back?
Welcome back to you. That's
Back.
right. The
Yay.
chat's got it right. The gist of the story is that there's one big bad dude who woke from his stasis and decided to take Earth for himself. And Fu Soyao is just... What is he, the nightly security guard?
Yeah, he's a glorified Cranberry Silo Night
Kuya.
Watchman. Yeah. Well, wait a minute.
That's right. Whoa.
Yes! Yes, that's it. He refused to take a nap. That's why naps are holy.
That's right.
It all makes sense.
Naps are holy. That's why Zemus is unholy.
Yeah. He refuses to nap. Never trust someone who doesn't take naps. Oh, the big reveal.
Dun, dun,
There it
dun.
is. Yep, so Cecil's dad built the big whale, flew to Earth, taught humanity the ways of high technology. And also the way of napping. And that's why the light on
Wow.
Mount O'Neill's called him my son.
Nice reveal.
I'm running on phone internet speed, so I'm back, but I suspect the stream is lagged way behind for me.
Oh.
You just missed the I'm your father moment.
Can get to the
Oh
replay.
man.
Yeah, it turns out Cecil is half Lunarian, and his dad built the big whale and flew to Earth and fell in love.
Sounds like a good plan.
Fusaya can neutralize the shield. Well, why didn't you say so?
Oh, yes, that's right.
Let's take a...
But yes,
So
Roland
what's
Chat
a
has a
1,000-year-old
point.
Lunarian stats like?
Well, first, Rawl has a point. But yes, Heather Lorian does not take naps, so of
Oh.
course you should never trust her. If you take
Never.
nothing else away from the stories.
Also, I heard that her custom combat frame is the best combat frame ever created.
We're gonna find out on Friday.
I don't know, I heard Electo had a pretty good one.
That's the one to beat.
I want to see the spell list.
We will, all in good time. I can wear the bandana.
There you go. Bandana, black belt, strength, ring. Get him.
Okay. Here comes.
What? He knows all of it, and they're in a really weird order.
Yep. There's everything.
Whoa,
Knows
what's
Medio
that one
nuke.
at the bottom? Knows Medio. and actually has enough MP to cast it.
Yep.
You know what I'm gonna request that you do on the way back to the blue whale.
Try those out. Make some more craters.
Is medio somebody.
Oh, but wait, there's more. Hey, looky
Crystal
here.
room. It's another set of crystals. Maintained by the balance of the 8 crystals on your planet. Okay.
Welcome to the Crystals of the Moon. Well, wait, I thought that Fusoya could neutralize shields. Apparently not that one.
Well, he could, but if he neutralized that one, he'd just be letting Zemus out.
Now, here is a situation in which world building is important. Okay. What you want the world building to do is set up the rules to avoid improperly foreshadowed Deus Ex Machinas. That's what you want to avoid. You need internal consistency so that the reader knows what to expect, knows what technologies and characters are capable of, so there is tension. Because if a character can just always pull the solution out of his hat, well then the reader will quickly learn that, oh, nothing's a challenge to him, he's in no real danger.
Interesting point. That reminds me of 2 stories. One that does it really well and one that does it poorly. Jim Butcher's Harry Dresden is always in danger, and he always thinks of a way out of it, but you always believe that he's actually in danger, or if not personally in danger, sometimes he is. You know the main character is probably going to make it through the book, but whether he's going to be able to win the day or save all of his friends. Ooh. That's not unknown power. The crystals just told you what the power is.
Looking at you, Battlegrounds.
Shots
if you haven't
fired.
read Battlegrounds yet, you should do that.
I've honestly only read one Dresden Files book, but it was like book 9 or something. It was the one that was in the Hugo packet a few years ago. However, at no point was I confused or lost as what was going on, even though I came in way late, and I immediately enjoyed myself.
Wow.
Yeah, and that is the mark of top-tier writing. Oh, strike first. Oh, and he's in the middle. Okay, don't mind if I do. Let's work
Make
up
it
to
rain.
it. Oh, I know. Nuke is
okay.
only single target. Okay. Yeah, screw these guys.
Make it rain. It's got a long cast time, so you can probably just set the controller down and get a water.
Yeah, actually, I'll check my phone. Hold on.
Or maybe don't forget to dupe your Excalibur. Oh, I wanted to talk more about. Oh my goodness! What did you do to those poor slimes? You
Vaporized
broke
them.
the pudding.
Well, launched an orbital kinetic attack on them.
It's just like Final Fantasy. I hate you so much I'm gonna destroy this entire colony by dropping meteorites on it, just to do 10,000 damage to you.
Lunarians did nothing wrong.
What I find really interesting about the story here, the reveal that Cecil's half Lunarian and that the light on Mount Ordeals was his father, is that he didn't need to go there. It didn't need to be him to do all those things, but his path necessarily led him back to Mysidia, where he would be forced to give up the Black Sword and become a paladin, go to Mount Ordeals. I don't know how to put it, but it didn't feel like Deus Ex Machina. It felt like divine providence. That when you get to this point in the game,
What?
you say, yeah, you know, he. Sorry?
Not you. Not you. They changed right back. Oh well.
Oh,
Nuke is
sorry,
fast.
I lost my train of thought. Yeah, Nuke is the new Nuke. Nuke is basically a physical attack that does 6,000 to 10,000 damage.
But no,
you
you
just choose through all your MP.
Yeah. You bring up a great point though, which is, all right. Clearly, there are paladins, there are wizards who are praying to something. Right? There's a holy spell, right? There are holy element items, for want of a better word. So, what is the nature of divinity in Final Fantasy IV? I didn't need that. Like, yeah, you're right there. There's a whiff of providence. You know, the rose scent of the divine in Cecil's destiny here. So, yeah, what's its source, right?
It really makes me. It's when you get to this point where it could have been a really stupid reveal, right? Like, if you stop and think about it, it's a little corny that Cecil and the main bad guy are brothers. It's a little corny that it was his dad that was like a spirit that gave him the paladin. But when you think about it, when you reflect on the whole game, Cecil's just been sort of like your straight man.
Yeah.
You know, he's beating himself up about all of his crimes, and so he turns that around, and all he's been doing for this whole game is just rushing forward, trying to stop Golbez. You know, he hasn't had time for anything else, and then it stops, and you're like, no, he's not just a guy. He's the guy. He's the guy destined to stop Zemus, because he's the only one with the power and now with the purity to do it. Of course, the real guy to stop Zemus is going to be Edge, because he's got about a dozen holy swords to throw at him. But
That's right.
you know, that's neither here nor there. I'll mess with the ninja.
Nope.
I'm going to have to punch out early today, but it's been good hanging out with everybody.
Yeah, man, good talk.
Absolute pleasure. Are you going to be around tomorrow night?
Should be.
All right.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, and Matthew Martin points out, that's a really good point, that Aaron is the beneficiary of the knowledge of airships, and it's connected to my city by the Serpent Road, so the whole connection with Kluya is established. It's conceivable that Kluya, you know, fell in love with an Earthling in Baron and stuck around and was like, okay, so here's how you fly, and you know, here's how you build cool machines. Oh, that giant tower over there on the other continent? Don't worry about that. Has nothing to do with the weird monster moon.
Oh, clearly. And that's why this game is an excellent illustration on how to do world building right, because the script was cut to about a third of its original size, okay? We were only getting like a fraction of the original story, but it was actually too big to fit on the cart, okay? So they had to do a last minute just slash and burn edit, and we don't actually lose any story. All they did was cut expository dialogue. That's it. But man, this game benefited from it.
Yeah, it's that doing more with less. Same reason why we appreciate the art and the animations so much. Where you're gonna get so much more beautiful animations and things watching a new game on Unreal Engine or whatever. But look what they did with this. This is outstanding.
It really is a triumph.
Same thing with story, and if you play latter Final Fantasy games, I woefully admit that now if you touch that crystal, you're going to immediately enter the next thing, so think carefully about how you want to end tonight's extravaganza.
Well, I
'Cause
definitely
you're gonna
know
go
I want to
straight
take
to
a
the
nap.
next dungeon.
Okay.
Yeah, you definitely want to take a nap. There's no time to save on Earth. You're going to go straight to the next area.
Okay. And I know what that is.
So you know what that is. I recommend saving. I'm not sure if you want to, whether you want to stop here on the moon, or watch that cutscene before calling it.
I think
back
that
to what I
would
was
be a
saying
high
about
note to save until tomorrow.
Yeah, I do too. Well, yeah, that guy. What I was saying about doing more with less. Oh my goodness, completely derailed my train of thought. I apologize. You know what's triggering me? You've got 2 stacks of life potions. That's triggering me.
Me
I've been
too,
watching
I
it for the
forgot
past
about
2
it.
battles. It's driving me nuts.
Okay, so there's one. There it is. Okay. We're going to fix that.
If you watch or play through the cutscenes in newer Final Fantasy games, I've played just about all of them up to 15. I didn't play 15. But I did play all the Final Fantasy 13s, which are pretty much as bad as you've heard.
Hmm.
There's just so much time wasted on, if not stupid exposition, then dumb character moments with characters that you really just want to push out of an airlock.
Whoa.
It's like all of the worst habits from your least favorite anime series or what have you. All of those things. Obnoxious characters that are supposed to be cute or something like that, and they have all the time and space in the world, and they can have all the voice acting they want. And what do they use it for? It sure isn't an interesting story.
Yeah, I'm seeing
Meanwhile-
the oh yeah, that's right. I'm gonna go ahead and save, then we can continue our discussion. But yeah, meanwhile. Go ahead.
Oh, you killed my train of thought again.
Okay, well, I'll go ahead then. Yeah, it's like how you were saying, you can easily fill in the blanks, like, oh, okay, well, Baron has the airship and the servant road, so obviously Cluia went to Earth and fell in love with a girl from Baron, who is Cecil's mother. Yeah, I mean, as long as you get a reasonably intelligent audience, you don't have to spell that out. Like, you figured it out from connecting the dots. So, FF4 does a great job of just, yeah, they've clearly got the story. They know how this all hangs together, but they leave you a trail of breadcrumbs, and it's just enough to pick up what they're laying down. You know what I mean?
And the other thing that we're talking about world building and modern phenomena, the past couple of decades of prequels, the obsession with prequels and spelling out every ounce of the backstory. It's been going on a lot longer than Star Wars, but of course the Star Wars prequels are probably the worst example, or the best example. I'm not sure anymore. There's no reason for us to learn the backstory of Darth Vader. Darth Vader was awesome. We could have just left it at the end of any one of the first 3 movies. The story could have ended at the end of any of the 3 movies. Anyway, there's no reason for that sort of world building, that sort of obsessive explanation of backstory, and particularly in science fiction. Particularly in science fiction, one of the key attributes of a good fantasy or science fiction story is that you're dropped into this alien place, whether it's an alternate history Earth or a fantasy world or something like that, without any explanation, and you're just asked to go along with it. And that's fun. That's part of the enjoyment in reading that, is cracking into Combat Frame Exceed and going, okay, what is going on here? Right? I get that there was a war and giant robots were used, but things are happening and I don't fully understand everything that's happening. Let's follow these characters and see what happens. I think I'm done rambling.
When you read COI 96 Prelude, it will answer a bunch of those questions, by the way.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Like, stuff that people have been asking me to explain since book 1. I know that the Pulp Archivist is really happy with that.
Well, good. I don't know how much of that stuff I've been privy to previously. I know we've talked a lot offline about that thing. I'm a little sad that you felt the need to do that, but that's just common nowadays. People need to know. People want that stuff filled in.
Oh, don't worry. It was always coming. Like this, I'm revealing exactly when I wanted to reveal it from the beginning. It's time now. So no one forced my hand.
Okay.
Yeah. No one forced my hand. It's
You had it all planned out.
Yeah. And okay. Oh, good lord. This is gonna sound like a total old man yells at cloud rant. But springboarding off of what I said earlier about millennial mirror movies, right? How they can't engage with fiction in a way that doesn't turn the main characters into just like walking mirrors, like reverse funhouse mirrors, right? They only show the audience their own reflections, but they make them look better instead of distorted, right? Mm-hmm. That's what they do. And that also, I think that J.J. Abrams' mystery box plot ties into it, because obviously it does directly, because Force Awakens, Rey is like the gold standard, if you want to call it that. Perhaps the Pyrite standard for just a walking reverse funhouse mirror character, right? And the movie was written and directed by J.J. Abrams, who's the king of the black box with a big question mark on it and nothing inside. And we're in this really weird juncture in science fiction in which, okay, so writers obsess over weaving these elaborate backstories for their worlds, okay? Meanwhile, they ignore character largely, or just plug in, like, convenient plug-and-play tropes. Meanwhile, audiences don't want characters with character, and they don't want mysteries with answers. They don't want to know the explanation. They don't want to be told the explanation. Like, look at any time there's been some big mystery box reveal, like on some cable TV series or in some book series, and immediately the internet starts whining about, well, that was lame, that was dumb, like, Cylons should have been an STD, the smoking man should have been Mulder's dad, et cetera, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't want the answer. They don't want the authoritative official answer. They want, like, the reason the mystery box is popular is it feeds the audience's egotistical need to project themselves into the box. Like, they want to open the box and it's them inside. That's what they want.
Ooh.
They are who they've
Interesting.
been waiting for, right?
That's an interesting point of view. I'll have to think about that. But you're right. At least you're right in the phenomena. I've seen the same thing.
Sorry to derail you.
I just remember. I just remember my one of my old guildmates in World of Warcraft made a funny video based on that sketch having to do with Shadow Priests providing mana for the whole raid.
Well, it's a game we used to play on one of my old podcasts, which I started when we reviewed the Dario Argento movie Phenomenon.
Oh no!
Yeah. But anyway, go ahead.
I can't. That was very effective. What was I saying?
I don't know. What was the name of that
Anyway.
John Travolta movie that had that Eric Clapton song from it? It was basically a vehicle for Scientology from like the mid-90s. What was
Battlefield Earth?
No.
I mean, that was just an adaptation of a Neil Rotten Hubbard story.
Yeah, that was late 90s. This one was a bit before. Maybe Chat knows the name of that movie.
I don't know.
Oh, well. We'll give him a minute.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm glad you found it interesting.
But yeah, okay.
Yeah.
We were talking about the phenomenon of the mystery box, and it's clear that people just. It's the mystery that's sort of interesting. I don't know if you're accurate about why it is. I'm sure it's true for a lot of people, but the mystery is the fun part. What could it be? What could it be? And then you find out, and it's like, the tension is gone. You don't care anymore. One of the best examples that I can think of, I experienced this with Twin Peaks. I watched it a few years ago. I want to say maybe 5 or 6 years ago, and apparently it was the studio there that the network that said, "Hey, we've got to wrap up this mystery here," and season 1 was fascinating, and then season 2 they just sort of a few episodes in they went and wrapped up the Laura Palmer mystery, and I felt no reason, no desire to watch the rest of the show. It lost all of its interest for me.
Twin Peaks season 1 might be one of the best seasons of television ever produced. I'll cop to it right now. I'm a huge David Lynch fan. I think he gets a bad rap from more casual viewers who don't understand what he's trying to do, but he is one of the last few openly spiritual directors. Like, along with Christopher Nolan, he's one of the few guys who says, yes, there is a non-material dimension to human beings and reality. And even Christianity specifically, he gives a fair shake. Like, Dale Cooper is specifically a Quaker. Like, just openly. He's a good Christian boy.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I like Lynch, and in his case, you bring up an important example. Okay, Twin Peaks is not a mystery box in the J.J. Abrams sense. It's probably what J.J. Abrams is trying and failing to copy Okay? Because the difference between a David Lynch mystery and an Abrams black box is that Abrams strings you along with the idea that, okay, he sets up where, all right, we need the MacGuffin to solve the mystery, and the MacGuffin's in the mystery box. So I promise you guys, when we find the box and open it, you're going to get an answer. It's not just going to be a jack in the box with your head on it, okay? So Abrams makes and breaks a promise to the audience, which is the biggest no-no in writing. Lynch says, hey, let's follow these characters on this journey. Let's look into their lives. Let's look into their heads. Let's throw everyday problems at them in this kind of quirky, magical realist milieu and see how they react to it, right? So Lynch is specifically about the journey, not the destination, and he lets you know that up front. So he does not break a promise to the viewer. And you can tell because Lynch's way is fun. And it stops being fun when they make him come up with a concrete answer.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas...
Absolutely.
Yeah. Whereas Abrams never gives you a concrete answer. Or when he does, it's dumb. And you realize it's all a squid ink. It's all smokescreen for the fact that he doesn't have a story. Not really. Yeah, like J.D. Cowan says,
true.
Lynch knows what he's doing. Yeah, he knows exactly what he's doing at all times.
But I like I like what you said about Lynch in that he doesn't necessarily have the answer. The point is the journey. He's not telling you there's an answer. Like, for example, I read that Bob, the villain, the killer, just showed up because there's a lighting crew guy who accidentally got on camera or something like that. And then so he's like a reflection in the mirror. And they're like, okay, I guess Bob's this creepy looking guy. All right.
Yeah, and A. Shuffington, you stopped at the right point. I would even have stopped a little before that. But no, Dornall, you've got it. You get it. And what's also great about Lynch, welcome to the Lynch cast, apparently, is that, yeah, he's able to work on the fly. Like, he does his planning so well, he can incorporate twists that he didn't necessarily expect into it. So, like, well, we need someone to play Killer Bob. Oh, wow. Yeah, that lighting dude in the Canadian tuxedo is perfect. Let's use him. Just synthesis with real life. Because I think, like, one of his production assistants, because they needed a scene where, like, Laura's in her room and reacts with absolute abject horror to something she sees in the corner. And Lynch was thinking, okay, well, what do we put there, like, to use as a mark for her to act against, right? How do we elicit that response? And one guy was like, well, hey, here's my buddy who's like a lighting grip or something, and he has this pretty cool, scary laugh. We could put him in the corner and have him, like, do that insidious laugh at her. And it worked so well, Lynch was like, okay, we're leaving that in. And we're making him Bob.
I love it.
Yeah, you don't hear about moments like that anymore. Everything's so focus grouped and corporate controlled.
Yeah, we don't get a lot of those auteurs anymore.
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan, you mentioned earlier, he's one of the few still more or less allowed to do what he likes.
Yep.
Well, I want to talk about David Lynch all night. Are we gonna keep rolling?
Nope,
We're
it
gonna
is
call it
about
a
that
night.
time. In fact, I was just about to say we're gonna call it here. So thanks to everyone who joined us for the FF4 / David Lynch cast. We'll be back with mainly Final Fantasy IV tomorrow as we tackle the Giant of Babil. So in the meantime, make sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, leave a comment if you like tonight's content, if you thought we were just talking out of our hat, if you like David Lynch or not, if you're a fan of world building or not. your opinions on the Tolkien fiasco, let us know. Again, check out Ethereal in the show notes below. Dornal, anything else for the folks at home?
Oh, I just appreciate talking to everybody in the chat. It's great hanging out with you guys all night. I always enjoy hanging out and chatting movies and old school video games with you. So it's been a pleasure. Have a good night, everybody.
Okay, and thanks also on behalf of our absent co-host, Catholic Lancer. So for Geek Gab, this has been Brian.
Dornal signing off.
We'll see you tomorrow.